If the actions of the president are criminal, he should be held to the same. Excuse me, I'm still speaking. Can you please let me finish my statement? Okay? If the actions of the president happen to be illegal actions, especially in the context of our democratic process, you genuinely believe that that individual should not be held accountable for what he engaged in. You think that any former citizen...
Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur brought on Vivek Ramaswamy onto the Young Turks to have a debate, and things got very, very heated, especially between Anna Kasparian and Vivek Ramaswamy. They got into a shouting match, and of course, Vivek Ramaswamy came out on top. He absolutely destroyed Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur on this episode of the Young Turks. Let's get into this clip here of Vivek destroying Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur in this very, very heated debate.
To do a coup against America with a fake elector scheme. Do you know a second person who's ever been accused of that?
We've had contested elections dating back to the late 1800s in this country, and a lot.
Yeah, but no one ever did fake electors and tried to do a coup, Vivek. So are you saying, because this is really important, because good for the goose is good for the gander. So you're saying Joe Biden on his way out can take any national secrets and show them to anyone he likes. He could, maybe you could even sell them, whatever. He could just take them. Who cares?
He can sell them.
And hold on.
I'm pretty clear about this.
Okay.
Can't sell them.
Okay, all right. But if Donald Trump is charged with selling them, are we allowed to try him then? Or do we just have to let him go no matter what he's charged with?
We're going to be on for most of an hour, so I think it's just important for you to understand something about me. I care about the details. Facts actually matter. I don't care about
the details
random
as well.
jousting.
And you just implemented a law having to do with political speech of a president and extended it to the actions of the president. If the actions of the president are criminal, he should be held to the same. Excuse me, I'm still speaking. Can you please let me finish my statement? Okay? If the actions of the president happen to be illegal actions, especially in the context of our democratic process, you genuinely believe that that individual should not be held accountable for what he engaged in. You think that any former citizen...
Do you notice how Anna Kasparian and Cenk are very, very heated? They're very animated, and Vivek is just trying to diffuse and like have a normal conversation, have a just a factual conversation about the things. But instead of having that, instead of being able to come down to Vivek's level, and when he's just asking what Anna Kasparian's name is, I guess that could be like construed as disrespectful because he's saying like, I don't even know who you are type thing. But I don't think that's what he's doing at all. He's just trying to say, hey, what's your name, by the way? Like trying to like calm her down by like diffusing the situation. And Anna Kasparian just wants to go on this screaming rant, you know, because she's very emotional about Donald Trump. And by the way, just from doing research and like watching these videos of the Young Turks and a lot of these other leftist YouTubers who talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and these encounters too with Anna Kasparian, with Cenk Uygur, these types of people, they hate Vivek Ramaswamy. Like whenever Vivek is the one that's running for president, whenever he is the one who's in Donald Trump's place, not much is going to change. Like instead of Trump derangement syndrome, it's just going to be Ramaswamy derangement syndrome. We should probably come up with something a little bit more catchy than that. But they hate this guy like just as much as they hate Trump. And whenever he's just as powerful as Trump, we're going to see that on a very large scale. But I just want you to notice real quick that Vivek's being very calm and very collected and trying to just have a factual conversation with these people, and they will not allow it. They're just heated, screaming all over the place.
President of the United States can attempt to steal elections, can attempt to implement fake electors and go against the will of the American people. Is that what you're arguing here?
And I just want to address you correctly. What's your name?
I mean, you just came on my show. You don't know my name? My name's Anna.
I don't actually. I thought I was talking to Cenk. What's your name?
My name is Anna.
Anna, good. No, we're gonna be chatting for a while. I just wanted to address you conversationally.
Should have prepared for the interview ahead of time.
Well, Anna, you guys invited me on your show. I'm making some time for you guys. I'm happy to have the open debate. Let's get some facts actually straight here.
I thought you were detail oriented. I don't know. It's just you're the one.
You are making. I didn't mean that as a personal affront, Anna. I promise you, and I'm looking forward to getting into substance with you. So the reality is, you're making an assertion that he broke the law. And then everything that you're doing is working backwards, making a legal judgment on a complex legal theory that has never been brought against a defendant in American history. So that's a circular reasoning. It's a circular loop.
No, it's not, Vivek. That doesn't make any sense what you're saying. Vivek, we're not making
this legal theory.
But Vivek, you're going in circles. Hold on, let's be clear.
Nope.
So we're not making the assertion. Prosecutors are making that assertion. And you're saying, do not let the prosecutors do their job. Foreclose that. I don't want to discuss this. Hold on, let me finish. So can Joe Biden do a fake elector scheme and just make up electors and declare himself president, as Donald Trump wanted to do. And you admitted earlier he is lying. Donald Trump was lying. And so can Joe Biden lie and say, I've got fake electors, and I'll even call them fake electors, and then you're not allowed to prosecute them?
And this is where Ground News comes in. Ground News gathers related articles from more than 50,000 sources around the world in one place, so you can compare how different outlets covered the same story. Ground News was created by a former NASA employee to empower readers to navigate our complex media landscape. Ground News also gives you context about the source of the information itself, if they have a political bias, how reliable their reporting practices are, and who owns them. And they're all backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organizations. So that allows you to even see if a story is being disproportionately covered by one side, which would really have been helpful during the 2020 elections when it comes to a certain laptop. Just take a look at this story on Ground News about Fani Willis and the inconsistencies that were discovered by the Department of Justice. You can see if we scroll down a little bit that this story was covered by over 10 sources, and 0 left-leaning sources covered this story. And I wonder why that would be, because this story obviously makes the left look bad. It makes the indictment on Trump, it makes the whole case against Donald Trump look bad. So obviously the left-leaning sources aren't going to cover this story. And Ground News just kind of brings them all together and shows you the bias. You can see over here, every single article will show you the bias distribution. 90% of the sources lean right on this one because there's only one center-leaning source that covered it and 0 left-leaning sources. And it will show you this for every single article, so you know the bias around certain topics and around certain articles that are being written. In today's society, where everyone calls themselves a journalist and propaganda moves faster than the speed of light, Ground News becomes a solution to this problem, which is why I am glad to take them on as a sponsor and share their website with you. So if getting accurate information is just as important to you as it is to me, go ahead and go over to ground.news/reloaded or scan the QR code to give it a try. If you sign up through my link, you'll get 40% off the Vantage plan, which is what I use to get unlimited access to all features on Ground News. I think Ground News is doing important work, and I really, really hope that you'll check them out.
Because you just said, that's it. No one's allowed to prosecute former presidents. Go ahead. So is Joe Biden allowed to do the same exact thing Donald Trump?
Let me just ask you guys a question, because I think I'm getting a sense for your command of the details here. Which case would you like to talk about? There are 4 pending cases.
Go ahead, fake electors. Is Joe Biden allowed to do the same
one
fake
of you is talking about documents, and one of you is talking
because he broke so many laws. But let's stick with fake electors. Go ahead.
Which one would you like to discuss?
Fake electors. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there is no crime here that can be charged. That's the answer. There's no relevant crime. Now, can voters take this into account when determining who their next president is? Absolutely. That's exactly how our process works. But our Constitution has a process that has been followed, and it was followed here. And the US president absolutely, even if he's the outgoing president, has an opportunity to share his opinion, even if those opinions are not true, and if that's found in a court of law. I don't have a view on that, but that's what the allegations are.
That's what a court of law is, Vivek, but you're saying we're not allowed to go to a court of law.
I'm not saying that you're not allowed to. I'm saying that I would pardon him, because I think that these do not match the actual law that the Supreme Court has held applying to these set of facts. And I think it's a bad judgment for the US Justice Department to bring this case, because it divides the country and it sets an awful precedent that will now be used going forward for years unless we do something about it. Unless it takes a leader who actually unites this country. This is the new precedent in the United States of America. The new precedent is the party in power will look at who the opponent is and throw the legal statute book at them. That's not how it's supposed to work.
100%. Vivek is 100% correct here. And I think what Anna Kasparian and Cenk and Whoopi Goldberg and Bill Maher and all these people who just are desperate to put Trump in jail and prosecute him for what he did, what they don't realize is the precedent that is being set by throwing Trump in jail for things that he did as the president is much scarier, much more dangerous than having the precedent of you can't prosecute him for what Trump did. And what I mean is exactly what Vivek is saying to Anna Kasparian and to Cenk Uygur here, is that whenever you have this cycle that keeps going on, that the left is obviously trying to do, it's probably going to happen whenever the right wing is in power too, if you allow this to keep happening. If you allow the DOJ to be weaponized by whatever party is in power currently against the party who is not in power, if you allow that to happen once, that sets a much more dangerous precedent in my eyes than having Donald Trump get away with something that is borderline criminal. If you even want to put it, like, putting it generously, borderline criminal, you know? that's a lot more dangerous of a precedent to set than having Donald Trump walk free. And that's what Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and people like them will never, ever be able to accept. Not because they don't want to, because their brainwashed minds will never allow them to accept it. But Vivek Ramaswamy is completely correct here in what he's saying to them. And he's the one, normally the one who is less animated, less heated, less emotional about it. They're normally correct. He's cool, calm, collected, and Anna Kasparian just shouting at him. Cenk Uyghur's cutting him off. Anna being like as bitchy as ever. Like, honestly, she's being super bitchy here. And like, I don't even understand how Vivek didn't snap on her, because she's being really, really, you know, unprofessional. But normally the one who is more cool, calm, collected, less emotional is the one correct. And that holds true here, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. But it seems like Vivek is just destroying them right now.
Work. You're supposed to find a crime and then decide whether or not you want to prosecute it according to the same standards you use for every American. That is not what's happening here. And there is little doubt that if Donald Trump were not running for president, they would not have brought these charges. So I think that if you ask me, does this move towards uniting the country or not? I think it does not. I think it moves towards dividing the country, which is why I have been clear, even though I'm running against Donald Trump, I would pardon him if I'm elected president, because that will move this nation forward. And I do not think that we should be guided by vengeance and grievance against one man. I do not think that that helps the United States of America. That's why I'm in this race, and that's why I clearly answer your question. You asked me, why would I pardon? That's why I would pardon.
And just to be clear, you have absolutely no problem with the Trump campaign implementing fake electors in the state of New Mexico, which had no pending litigation in regard to election fraud. You're okay with that?
There is a difference between what I've made the same judgments.
Yes or no?
I don't think that's illegal. I do not think
you don't think that's
anything
illegal.
That's been laid out.
Okay, you don't value our democratic process. Great to hear it.
Anything that's
Dude, Anna is just being really, really, really annoying. I don't know how Vivek didn't snap on her. The fake elector thing. It's like, that's like I don't know, dude. They always talk about conspiracy theories on the right. That's a conspiracy theory, and emphasis on the theory, because the fake elector thing, every time I try to look into it, it just seems like a nothing burger. But I don't know. You can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on that. Let me know what you thought about Vivek Ramaswamy and Anna Kasparian shouting match. It was very much a one-way shouting match, with Anna Kasparian just getting very emotional because Vivek didn't give her the answers that she wanted, and Vivek just absolutely tore apart, you know, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur's arguments here. But let me know in the comments what you thought about Vivek Ramaswamy's appearance here on The Young Turk.